Thanks for tuning in to the Unaffiliated Creators Podcast. I'm your host, kaeveryday. It's your boy, K, and I brought my man with me, P-Feeve, a.k.a. Prince, a.k.a. whatever you want to call it, from Angry Hearts Deluxe.
Yo, yo, yo.
Y'all hear him. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all already know what it is. Matter of fact, y'all already know we about to get turned up in here. Hey,
let's get it in.
Hey, man, I'm going to be honest with you, man. This is a sad day for me. I never thought I would see the day where I would have to talk bad on this man's name.
Man, come on, don't do it.
I'm going to be honest, I really feel as a podcaster, I wouldn't be doing my job, especially the fact that my podcast is mainly centered around music, that I couldn't just let this one just kind of go past me without saying something about it. So, all right, here it is. Man, I wish I had some sad music. Do it. This is about the saddest music I got. So I'm just gonna jump right into it, man. So, how do you feel about the Andre 3000 latest album titled New Blue Sun?
The one with no bars, right?
No bars.
So it's I would have to say that I understand. I'm not disappointed. Just if you really understand, look at the history of where 3 Stacks has really been, he's always tried to push it. And if, I'll dive deeper into this later, maybe this is, to me, it feels as if there's a protest that, hey, this current state of the game that he's in, he feels like, hey, I don't have nothing to say, and I don't really want to, give you guys bars. And I was very interested in the fact that he made sure and that put the disclaimer out, no bars. And maybe he might be trying to start a movement, but overall, I gave it a listen. It's soothing music, and I'll answer that question, but I will say that I was very, what was interesting to me, that being that I'm a producer, I know a lot of hip hop artists, rappers, hardcore rappers, gangster rappers, and I was shocked that they accepted it. And, I had one on my Facebook feed said it helped him go to sleep.
That's the sound. Look, this is what I want to hear. If I'm trying to go to sleep, I need to hear that. You hear that? So I'm going to try to unpack this, guys. I'm going to try to be as eloquent as I can. I'm going to start off by saying this. I hold Andre 3000 in a very high regard. That's probably why I'm so emotional about this topic. So I just want to let y'all know, for anybody out there that don't know me, I would easily say that I would put Andre 3000, a.k.a. 3 Stacks, in my top 5. Some days, depending on how I'm feeling, I might rotate him out and put somebody else. But on most days, I would tell you that I will put Andre 3000 in my top 5.
So if so I'm just curious, can you name off your top 5 right now?
All right, so normally I say Jay-Z, Biggie, Tupac, Nas, 3 Stacks, and then some days, depending on how I'm feeling, I might replace 3 Stacks with Jadakiss. But I'm gonna put it to you like this. You don't even have to know about rap. Andre 3000 should be in everybody's top 10. My mom don't listen to rap, and I'm pretty sure she know enough to know that Andre 3000 should be considered to be in everybody's top 10. And if you don't consider him to be in your top 10, I might call you a crackhead, but I digress.
Okay, so I would say this, right? So 3 Stacks, definitely in my top 10. Definitely in my top 5. Because I had to replace... Can I do this?
Which one you want to hit?
So, I had to take Nas out of my top 5 and put 3 Stacks in there. So, and only because, and The way you feel about Three Stacks is the way I feel about Nas. And, you know, I love the new stuff with Hit Boy. Don't get me wrong. But that album after it was written tore me to pieces. So I understand, but they can bounce back. He can bounce back. But right now, could it be that he says, and I'll ask you this, could it be possible that he's just like, I don't want no parts of the game and what it's doing right now?
Yes. So he can say that he don't want no parts of the game. And this is the only problem I have with this. And I'm going to try to explain it so y'all understand where I'm coming from. For somebody like Andre 3000 to reach the level of greatness that he's reached, as far as being a rapper, being, you know, in the music industry, being in the game, most people to be that good at something or be that great at something, that normally extends into everything else in their life. It's just a mindset thing. I'll use Tom Brady as an example. Most people consider him to be one of the greatest football players to ever play football. But Tom Brady is also great at other aspects of his life. He doesn't approach other things in his life like, I guess I'll do that. Because it's a mindset.
But that doesn't always equate to the talent, though. Michael Jordan was a better basketball player than he was a baseball player.
That is true, and that's something that he probably shouldn't have done. But I think, but him being so great at just being an athlete, he was still able to do something most people couldn't even do. Most people can't even hit a baseball. So he still was able to go into a whole nother sport and still.
But think about the time invested that Three Stacks to get to a level of how comfortable he was in his I've rapped in my younger years. So to understand what it takes for a rapper to get to that plateau, a level of artistry, that level of freedom that you will not be bound by change. Now, with that being said, look how long it took Three Stacks to morph into Three Stacks, right? So if you look at Southern Playalistic, Andre 3000 versus UGK, I Need You Three Stacks, that's a totally different Three Stacks, right? And it's very few rappers that can get to that level, that can get to that level of artistry, that where he can go. And I think that UGK song, I think everybody's, you know, not only rap fanatics, but regular people, grandmamas, everybody knows that verse to where that you are that universal in love. And that speaks to the authenticity of what he was a true student of the game. And let's be honest, he's an enrolled student of whatever that instrument, the flute that he's playing. He's enrolled. He's not graduated with a master's degree, with a PhD. When it comes to rap, he has a PhD by far. And there's very few artists, might I add, that will be in that stratosphere with him. And I will tell you, it's very few. I will put, and before I even say him, I'm going to say Kendrick will be in that realm. J. Cole is in that realm. Drake will be in that realm. Eminem is in that realm. When you look at Kendrick is working on his dissertation, whereas Three Stacks has already done it. To me, he has already hit that plateau. So once you hit a plateau, what else are you going to do? You're going to try to diversify and do something else. And maybe it ain't fresh no more to him. And I understand that too. You look at the landscape and he's uninspired. He's uninspired not to give bars, or he is trying to elevate to protest to bring bars back.
You right? I agree with everything you just said. This is my only issue with it. Yes, he reached a level of rapping that he don't even have enough to prove. If he don't ever rap again, to be honest with you, I don't really care, because he's already given us so much greatness that where we could pull from, we can just go back and listen to all the stuff that he's already given us. My issue is, and I'm going to use this as my example. He had an interview, a sit-down interview with GQ.
Okay.
Before he put this Flute album out.
Let's go.
He said it himself. I don't paraphrase it, but basically what he told this guy that was interviewing him was, when you listen to this album, you're going to get to hear me learning how to play this instrument in real time, meaning that he really didn't even know what he was doing. He was just playing around with the flute, and you're listening to him trying to figure out how to play the flute while he's making an album. My only thing is, you can have fun playing with the instrument, do it in your off time, have fun with it, but to try to make an album doing that is where I have an issue with it, because now you're not showing me your greatness.
Yeah, but you're getting emotional right now when he was just playing the flute.
But he put the album out as a project, though.
Yeah, but you're getting emotional like he put bars in it. I can understand if he put bars in there and they was weak. He didn't give you no bars. He gave you the disclaimer. And if this is a protest, just understand it. And I will be the first to go back into 3 Stacks catalog and tell you that I was not a fan of Hey Y'all when it came out. I was like, what is this? It took me time to appreciate the level of artistry that he was taking it. And I get it. He's not there with the flute. He's a currently enrolled student. If I could go back to my the what I painted in the beginning, right? So you're getting emotional, but there's no bars. There's no bars to get emotional about. He didn't give you anything that would slight him with his current state in the rap game. Now, what you have every right to evaluate him on is his flute playing. And if he's not a flute player and he's telling you that and giving you the disclaimer, you have the option not to listen. What you're getting emotional about is because you felt as if you just, as a diehard fan, that you deserved those bars and he didn't give them to you.
I don't even care that it wasn't a rap album. What I didn't like was I wasn't expecting bars. I was expecting greatness, because everything that he's shown us as a musician has always been greatness. So why would I expect anything less? So even though he just playing the flute, when I played the first song, I'm thinking it's going to be like some of the craziest flute playing I ever heard. And it was like you said, he didn't graduate. Man, this was like, he wasn't even at the high school level. My son could pick up a flute and play better than what he was doing. So that's why I was disappointed, because I was thinking for somebody to be great at being the artist, being a musician, whatever the case may be, I just would have thought they would have put that same level of dedication into that.
So can I stop you? He won. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why.
Well, can we talk?
No. Look at what you just said. If you unpack what you just said, that's how he feels about the current state of the rap game. A bunch of what he may feel as if high school students who haven't studied the game, who jump right into the game. So to me, I actually, from what you just said, I see the poetry. I see the poetic justice that you got so emotional about something that you love that you were disappointed. And just think about the rap game, something that he loves, that he's gotten his dissertation. He has his PhD, that high school students who didn't even graduate come into the game and they just make a mockery of what he spent his whole life turning into true art. And he won. What he's proud, and I'm not saying that was his goal, but if that was his goal, he won. Because you just summed up in what you felt about his album, how he probably feels about the rap game now. Not to say that, and let's be honest, I'm not slighting anybody in the game right now, but there is a vast shortage of artists that are mature enough at his level of rapping, and not to take anything away from them, they're learning on the job too, right? And there will be plenty of them that will ascend, right? They may not be there now, Just like he's not there now with the flute. But through time and patience, if you give that to him, he could blossom into what you would hope to be a great flute player and album. But right now, to me, he's getting poetic justice. And at first, and I'll tell you this, maybe I felt like at the beginning, I was like, man, maybe he's just protesting to make people, hoping that some other rappers do the same thing. But what you just said kind of summed it. I don't know if you meant to say it the way you just said it, but if you look at it, the way you just said it, you said, you was expecting
that same level of greatness that he put into the rapping.
But what you got was a high schooler that wasn't even enrolled in college. He was a high schooler learning on the job. And that's probably how he feels when you compare him to those who probably haven't had enough time and opportunity to rise to his level. So he was just like, well, if they can do it, he could do it.
Just throw it out there, right? All right. So I'm glad you said all of that. So let's get into this. I don't even want to use the word excuse, but in this same interview, this was his reasoning to why he's not rapping or bars or whatever you want to call it. He said at his age, what is he supposed to rap about? I mean, he was joking about it, but I'm paraphrasing, but basically he was saying, at his age, what do you expect for me to rap about? I'm 48 years old. What do you want me to be rapping about, getting a colonoscopy and all this other kind of stuff? My pushback to that is there's been people, Jay-Z,
Nas,
and some others that's got age on them, but they're not rapping about that stuff.
I think one of Jay-Z's best verses is God Did.
And how old is Jay-Z?
He's over 50.
Exactly. So he's at least 3 stacks age or older.
Right, but I'll go back to Styles P. I think Styles P said it best. I do believe it was Styles P that said that why can't rappers keep rapping if rock and roll, if the Rolling Stones can still be playing at 80 years old, what is wrong with a rapper still making music? Now, at any rate, some people, and the face value of it would say, well, you need to sit your tail down somewhere and blah, blah, blah. But to me, you still have an audience because that audience that grew up loving you is still there and can appreciate whatever. As long as you keep it fresh and innovating, there's an audience. I think Griselda did it for my generation and brought it back and made it flourish and made people appreciate something that was missing, right? All the while acknowledging the younger generation, acknowledging the fact that they may not be in the same space, but like J. Cole said, to appreciate and see the beauty in what is there. And I think when it comes to 3 Stacks, you got to look at it from, he may not be all of, but if you give him time, he could rise to that level. But to get back to your point, right? So, the deflection that says, well, what am I going to rap about? Colonoscopy, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we know what you're trying to say.
Right? But that may just speak to his point of not being inspired. Because he doesn't, when I choose you, he was talking about a situation. He was painting a picture, right? So if I'm, and let's move out of music and go to film, right? So Martin Scorsese, right? So gives you some of his best work later on in his life. The younger Martin didn't give you the same films that the older Martin did. So there's a maturity with that just like Jay-Z and God did, he gave you this authentic, honest verse that just transcended. And to be honest with you, it woke a lot of people up and to celebrate him. But let me tell you what this also does, because I don't want to diminish what these younger people have established. And I'll say this, is that in Andre 3 Stacks era, you had to have that artistry to continue to just be relevant.
You wouldn't have made it.
Right. You wouldn't have made it. But in this, and but also the way those contracts were written, you had to deliver X amount of albums, right? Some of these younger artists are not under that same, they've changed the game to where now, they can maintain and flourish financially without the labels to a degree, right? So eventually they need the big machine behind them, but to set themselves up in a space where they can continually flourish, and the technology, the way that these phones and all of the technologies that's at their fingertips to be able to, take their studio anywhere, record music, master it, and put it out. If they're not kind of tied to a label, they have the artistic freedom to pump out the content. So what you're going to get is more volume. And in that volume, you will see the maturity, and you have to be able to appreciate that. And right now, 3 Stacks isn't inspired, but let's not diminish what the young people are doing. Just have patience. Just like we need to have patience with the younger generation, have patience with 3 Stacks with his flute.
I can pretty much guarantee you that I'm never going to listen to any more. If he decides to put out another flute album, I probably won't be able to give it a shot. But he's still one of my favorite artists of all times. And I did want to bring this up. Another thing to go against his point about not being able to rap because of his age, he just did the song with Killer Mike. Killer Mike's album just came out a couple of months ago, and he got a verse on that.
Okay, so he was inspired.
So he was young enough. He was young enough to do the verse on Killer Mike. All of a sudden now, what, did he have a birthday after Killer Mike's album came out, and that stopped him from being able to rap?
So, but he said that people send him stuff all the time. He gets beats and stuff all the time, but he's uninspired. But if you go to Killer Mike's interview, Killer Mike told him, he said, "You gonna be on this, champ." Like, he didn't give Stacks an option. He was like, "Here go the beats, pick one. You owe me that. You gonna give me that." That's off standing on business, they have a history and a past that when Stacks needed him, Mike was there. Mike needed 3 Stacks. And in that interview, Killer Mike said, "Look, man," he was like, "Look, I don't want to hear nothing. I'm coming to LA. I'm coming out to LA, and I'm going to mix in LA. I'm not mixing in Atlanta. I'm coming to LA, and you going to get on this." And that's how it went. And he said that 3 Stacks was just like, "All right, well, just send it to me. Send me what, and I'm going to figure out where I fit in at." But Killer Mike pushed the issue, right? So, and he found his inspiration because that Killer Mike album was amazing. Amazing.
That album is crazy.
And I think Killer Mike is older than 3 Stacks. So, there's still something to say, right? I mean, even myself, I look at myself and go, well, I get to hide behind the producer badge all the time, but I have to ask myself, what do I want to say at this stage of my life? Being that I don't have albums out there, I get to say everything. I get to lay the groundwork, and I might, right now I'm currently working on Spartan Market Baby, and, I'm working on Analog Hearts, and then maybe I'm done once I do my Lovers album in the spring. But if I'm still inspired, I'll keep going. If not, hey, As long as I got it off my chest and it was documented. And if that's the way he feels, that there's been a burning desire to learn how to play the flute and he picked it up, hey, I would love to learn how to play the guitar. And I'm probably going to buy me a guitar. But that don't mean I'm going to put an album out trying to learn on the job. I feel you on that. But understand, if he was looking for poetic justice, I think he just got it out of you.
Boy, he had me fired up when I heard it. I was like, I had to go back and listen to it again. I was like, did somebody hit the record? I was like, that's him trying to like find the pitch of the, man, stop playing. I thought somebody was playing, man. They put it on the album.
You got emotional.
And I know he was trying to be funny too, because I think I shared this with you. He put more time and effort into what he titled the songs than the actual songs. Did you read
I read it.
The song titles?
Yeah.
So he put more effort into the song titles than he actually put into making the music itself.
Once again, if I was a betting man and he was seeking poetic justice, that just kind of further lays the groundwork to my point.
So that was kind of like his way. Y'all want bars?
I'm gonna give you.
I give you the bars in the song titles.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey man, it's a safe place out here. You know what I'm saying? We live in a safe in an era where we need safe places. And if that's the album where he needed a safe place, hey man. Hey, but if he come out with a rap album, I got him. But I think I told you this over the phone. What's the Outkast song?
I looked it up. It's Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks.
He go, my favorite rapper wasn't coming. He either says my favorite rapper or my favorite group wasn't coming with it anyway. So anyhow, when in doubt, it was
yeah,
that was Rosa Parks.
I bought it, thought that we'd be jamming, but yeah. He actually literally, art imitates life, right?
So basically what Prince is saying that 3 Stacks told us years ago in that song that he ain't been inspired with the music that's out. So he basically was telling us, but we weren't really trying to hear him though. And this was his way of letting us know.
Go back to Rosa Parks. I'm glad you did the research to find.
I had to, man. I was like, let me go hear what this dude talking about. But it's funny that you brought it up. So this was the last thing that I wanted to talk about before we get out of here today. So I did want to ask you, do you ever think that he'll come up with another rap album?
I think so. And I think he's not ready yet, but, I'll go to the point that, and I'll ask you a question. Why do you think Kendrick does records with Kodak? Why do you think Drake will do records with 21 Savage?
Sexy Red.
Lil Yachty. Why does J. Cole do a record with Lil Yachty? It is to put the arm around the younger generation. We have to appreciate what they've done, right? So, like, I listened to First Person Shooter and I'm like, man, this is an amazing record, right? What would make that record more amazing? A 3 Stacks verse.
Do a remix and put 3 Stacks on there?
So he may not be connected to this younger generation like a Drake, a Cole, a Kendrick is. But if he would put his arm around a Kendrick or a Drake or a J. Cole and give us that record, he could do 1 million of those flute albums. But if he can just learn from what I would call the new age goats are doing.
The big 3.
Right. And look at them and go, you know what? Maybe I should put my arm around that, because I'm going to be honest with you. I love 3 Stacks. But the level of, I think that what you have in Kendrick, you got Eminem, 3 Stacks, and Devin the Dude wrapped into one. And if I was 3 Stacks, recognize Kendrick's greatness and get up on that feature with him or make something with him and really go there. And even with Drake, understand it and see the greatness in him and get there. And then, of course, get with J. Cole. But if he can get with the big three and understand that, then he will see, to me, he would feel as if I'm in a space where I don't need them. It's not about you needing them. It's about doing what they're doing with the younger generation, is that you are making yourself, you're lending your hand back and graduate and allowing and confirming their greatness, right? Like they're confirming, because even with Lil Yachty, I had no clue that Drake had him in the pocket like that. I was like, whoa. And to hear the secret recipe and understand that, I remember when Ebro tried to make a mockery out of Yachty in the beginning, right? But for Drake to be like, nah, little bro, I got you. Come on. How y'all do them flows down there? How y'all do that like that? Okay. How y'all put these hooks together like that? Yo, that's collaboration. And for Drake to understand that man greatness, and that's how Yachty met Cole. Look at the interview, because Cole don't do a lot of interviews. If you look at the interview that Cole gave with Yachty, he said it. He said, look, I was coming through to peep out some Drake stuff, and then Yachty was there, and boom. That's how they met, on an awkward note, and then boom. But Yachty was willing to go home and do the study, right? Just like in the beginning. I know some producers from here that had some conflict with 21. That, you know, a golden era producer that had some real issues. But I got to give it to 21. He stayed the course. And one of my favorite records, and I wasn't a fan of Yachty and 21 Savage in the beginning. It took me some understanding. But once he did 2 a.m. on Glenwood, I said, I get it. I get it. Salute. Stand up. Now let me go back to the discovery, and now let me look at it, because I couldn't see no further than my golden era, and I had to kind of wipe that away and like, this record here, 2 a.m. on Glenwood, spoke to me in a way that I said, yo, I got to respect what this young man doing, yo. And I'm nobody by no means. But what he's doing in the vulnerability to actually put those records out there, and I had to give that an equal chance, like I would want somebody to give my records an equal chance, and be able to see that. And Stax, what he need to do, he may not need to get with 21 or Kodak or Yachty, but give us a record with Cole or Kendrick or Drake. They deserve it.
Yeah, and I think what would be so crazy if he did something with either one of them is, I mean, because everybody already think that they're like the best in the game right now. So it would be crazy to see when they on a song with 3 Stacks, that it's almost like where they could go. Because I kind of could sense that they probably going to feel that they even got to take it up another notch. Because it's like, yo, I'm competing with this dude. You can't come with some boo-boo rhymes when you got 3 Stacks on the song. You know what I'm saying? So I got a feeling that if he did a song with them, I think they would probably even take they to a whole nother level.
Or, let me add a little flame to the fire. Could he be scared that he might get bodied on a song with Kendrick? So I mean,
shots fired.
I mean, and I wasn't a big Kendrick fan in the beginning. You know, like I had to go back. Good Kid, Mad
Good
City.
Kid, Mad City, yeah.
That I had to grow. That had to grow on me. I did, and to Pimp a Butterfly definitely went over my head. But the record Damn was the one that made me go, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then I had to go back and discover the rest of that. And I think that when I look at Kendrick and the level of artistry and what he's doing with his, just look at the vocal production. Like, Stacks, I get it, reconsider. But the level that Kendrick brings it and Drake brings it.
And look, I ain't trying to confuse the audience out there because I know I kind of went hard on Andre 3000 at the beginning. That was because of him trying to play the feud. But I would not let you stand here today and utter the words or even suggest that the big three could body 3 Stacks. There's no way. Man, this man do that. When it comes to rapping, man, this man do the stuff in his sleep, man.
I'm just telling you.
I think it would probably be even, but to say that they will body him, there's no chance.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you right now, you get on the track with any of those 3, they are going to try to body him. They are. I'm going to tell you, Kendrick is going to go into that with the mindset to literally uproot 3 Stacks on the track. And that may be part of the reason why 3 Stacks, because you cannot tell me that 3 Stacks does not understand Kendrick's artistry. And I'm telling you, I was not a Kendrick fan in the beginning, but I'm telling you, 3 Stacks better watch. If he ever decided to get on a record with Kendrick would go to body. Kendrick would do just like he did on Control. He would just go to body him.
I think J. Cole and Kendrick, it would be like neck and neck, even. I don't think Drake could even. Drake couldn't do no with.
Man, he would give you the most incredible R&B vocals.
Oh yeah, he gonna give you all of the melodies and all that. But I'm talking about if you just talking about just strictly rapping. Stop it. Let's stop.
I mean, he would probably give Stacks his version of the Prototype. I'm just telling you. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to do that to get clickbait. I'm honestly telling you that if 3 Stacks would step into the ring on a track with them, and I'm not saying, and it would just be, just sparring, not even on some, we're about to body each other, but just for the sake of hip hop and what hip hop stands for. Kendrick, Cole, Drake have every right to, in their verse, not go at 3 Stacks, but to absolutely show the ultimate level of artistry that would have to make 3 Stacks level his game all the way up.
All right, so I'm just going to ask this very poignant question and we can end it here. Are you telling me that you think it would be equivalent to what J. Cole did to Yachty or what J. Cole did to Drake on First Person Shooter? Because I'm pretty sure everybody feels like I feel that J. Cole's verse was better than Yachty's. He got him. And J. Cole got Drake.
Yeah, but Yachty is a student, right? So I gotta put it Drake and Cole together.
Cole got Drake. It wasn't even close, man. J. Cole said he wasn't even trying to do that. He was just got on the song.
I still think that we can't sidestep Drake's greatness. And I'm not a huge Drake fan, but I gotta appreciate what it is. And Cole, see, and here's another thing. And Cole is so sporadic in giving us stuff, but 3 Stacks is the same way. I mean, Drake output is, Drake could give you 2 20-cut album, 20-song albums in the same year, and both them janks be banging. And Cole will give us a record every 3 years to 4 years with 11 songs on it. So if you have all year to come up with a verse and you already are at that level, I expect it to be on a certain plateau. So just like if 3 Stacks give me a verse, I mean, I waited all year for it. Whereas Drake gave me 40 verses this year. And it was all solid.
That's a good point.
So if you had all year to give me that one verse, I expect you to do that to Yachty. I expect you to do that to Cole. But I only got 2 verses from you all year. Name another J. Cole verse outside of the Recipe and First Person Shooter. So 2023, maybe there might have been 1 or 2 other songs. So let's just say all in all, I got 5 verses from Cole all year. I can come up with a verse in a day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even a rapper. I could come up with a verse. I mean, it's just...
I'm just saying.
Well, you know, your boy, he said that he that guy, and the only person that he'll push his album date back for is Taylor Swift. He was talking that talk. He said there ain't nobody else in the game that he feel that he need to move his date based on how many albums.
Drake?
Drake said that. He said the only person that he'll move his date for is Taylor Swift. Anybody. He don't care who it is. If you a rapper and he coming out on the same date as you, he ain't worrying about you. He gonna put his thing out when yours come out. He don't even care.
Matter of fact, Her Loss came out right around the time that Kendrick's joint came out last year. The Hot Steppers album.
Hey, man.
And Her Loss, I had to get to him. Her Loss had maybe 4 solid joints on it. So, solid. Let's say it was like 4 to 5 solid joints. So, how many songs was on that? Like 17, 18?
Felt like 20. It was a lot.
Okay, so out of 20 joints, I got 5 surefires. And then I got a Kendrick album, right? That basically the level of artistry was Drake couldn't come near the level of artistry that was put into the time and effort. But how long ago did I
he took like 5 years off.
He took 5 years off. So I agree with the statement. I wouldn't move my date back for Kendrick either. He comes every 5 years. You gonna run through that album in 45 minutes, and then you can put my album on, my second album of the year on, which is what I did. And put 3 a.m. on Glenwood on repeat for an entire week, trying to understand where did this 21 Savage come from? And some younger people be like, yo, you old head hating because you didn't listen to him. I had to go back because I appreciated that verse so much. Even with the Recipe, it made me want to go back and listen to Yachty and go, oh, he really wants to be a student. And maybe he just got caught up in being young and he had to mature to be like, yo, if I want to stay in the game, and he said it in every, it became more about people respecting his craft than it was about just getting the bag. It wasn't, well, yeah, I'm getting the bag, but they don't respect me. So the respect, is what he really wanted, which made him go back to be a student.
Well, I'm about to tie a bow on this thing, but before we get out of here, man, if I wear the camera, I want to look. Hey, 3 Stacks. Hey, man, we need a rap album, man. You can keep playing around with the flute and everything. Congratulations on the new album and everything. It's been 17 years since you dropped the project. We need a rap album. We actually need bars.
So let me talk to 3 Stacks as well. And if you can't give us a rap album, just give us a verse with Kendrick, Cole, or Drake. Put your arms around them.
Y'all heard it from the man. He said, hey, man, you know what we want, man. Get the streets what they want. Stop playing with us. But that's all we got for today, man. Y'all be good and stay safe.